order to remain on air, you have to pursue certain narratives. But if you were at my university and you were in my classroom, you would see students with all sorts of views saying whatever they want. A student would say, Iran is worse than North Korea. And I would laugh at him and make fun of him in a friendly way till the end of the semester. But you have this alternative Iran somewhere in the universe in your mind, and based on that, all your assessments are made. You're
okay. Well, criticize your regime then. Okay.
Wait, what kind of ridiculous request is that? Piers thinks he's doing something clever here, but he just sounds childish. Professor Marandi is trying to explain that the West has this fake imaginary version of Iran in their heads, and Piers just shuts down and goes, okay, well, criticize your regime then. Really? That's the move? It's pathetic. You're telling a man to bash his own leadership while they're literally fighting for their sovereignty? I mean, come on. Marandi is about to absolutely drag him for this, and honestly, Piers has it coming. Let's look at this.
Well, criticize your regime then. If you've got such freedom of speech, criticize your regime right now. Go on.
Piers, if
yeah,
you were
can't,
in Iran,
can you?
Piers,
you're full of hot air. You remind me of Comical Ali in the Iraq War, who kept just talking complete nonsense about his ruling, his regime and ruler.
The problem is, I don't know how to deal with your... Be quiet for a second and let me respond.
Well, criticize your regime. Go on.
I know you're afraid. Be quiet. Let me respond.
I'm not afraid of anything.
Don't be so afraid. In Iran, we talk against the government, against policies day and night. You sit in a taxi, they're criticizing. You're on campus, they criticize.
I wanted you to criticize your regime right now.
No, I'm not going to. When you give me 5 minutes.
No, you're not going to, are you? Because you're a coward. And you're a paid-up stooge of the regime, and you know if you do criticize them, they'll take you off the airwaves. Your job is to get on the airwaves and promote the regime. That's why you can't criticize them.
Yeah.
And if you could criticize them, you would.
Piers is literally doing the dance for me routine. He's demanding Marandi criticize his own government on command like it's some kind of middle school loyalty test. I mean, what are we even doing here? It's so transparently a trap. If Marandi does it, Piers wins. If he doesn't, Piers calls him a comical Ali stooge and a coward. The logic is just broken. You're talking to a university professor in the middle of a massive conflict, and you expect him to just trash his own leadership for your entertainment? That's not journalism. That's just being a bully. And Marandi's point is actually solid. He's like, look, people in Iran talk trash about the government in taxis and on campus all the time. They're humans. But he's not going to do it because Piers Morgan told him to. Why would he? Piers is sitting there acting like he's the moral police, but he just sounds childish. It's pathetic. He's trying to manufacture this gotcha moment because he can't actually win the argument on the facts. It's embarrassing to watch a grown man throw a tantrum because someone won't perform on cue for him. Narrow-minded and just totally ridiculous.
Are you going to let me talk, or are you just too cowardly to let me talk? You're afraid of me.
I asked you a question. You wouldn't do it.
You're a coward.
You can't do it, can you?
You're a coward. I'm
the coward. I can criticize my regime. I can tell you, I think Prime Minister Starmer has been a complete dud. What are you going to say about your regime?
My country is under airstrikes from your criminal regime, your Epstein regime. My country, the people in my city are being slaughtered by your garbage regime, and you want me to sit
actually, the people in your country were slaughtered by your regime. Weren't they? Only a few weeks ago, up to 30,000 of your people were slaughtered by your regime. Weren't they?
Okay, Piers, forget it. If you don't want me to talk, I'll just sit down. You do the talking.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll end it like this. I've had you on my show many, many times, right? When do I get invited on Iranian state television? Ah, you've gone.
I invited you to Iran, Piers. I invited you to Iran.
I'll do it like you do. I'll do it like you do. Down the barrel of a camera, you put me on Iranian state television and let me say what I think about Iranian state television in the way that I let you come on my show and criticize my country and the United States and the West. Fair's fair, right, Professor? Because you've got freedom of speech in Iran. There should be no problem in me, Piers Morgan, going on Iranian state television and hammering your regime. Only you won't let that happen, and the regime won't let it happen, because amongst the many things that you repress, the biggest thing you repress is freedom of speech. That's why you can't talk out against your regime, and that's why you wouldn't let me.
This whole criticize your regime thing from Piers is just so childish. It's pathetic, honestly. Like, what are we even doing here? Piers is sitting there acting all high and mighty because he can call Keir Starmer a dud. Okay, great, good for you. But Starmer isn't dropping bombs on London right now, is he? Marandi's country is literally being hit with airstrikes. People in his actual city are dying, and Piers wants him to sit there and trash his own government on Western TV? For what? Just to give Piers a little gotcha moment? It's a joke. And then the part that really kills me is the state TV bit. Piers is yelling about how he'd never be allowed on Iranian television. Meanwhile, the professor is literally inviting him to Iran. He said it right there. But Piers just talks right over it because it doesn't fit his little script. He doesn't actually want to go. He just wants to yell regime 50 times and pretend he's a hero for freedom of speech. It's not a real argument. It's just Piers being a bully because he's got nothing else.
Go on state TV in Iran and talk out against your regime. And that is the difference between us. So you can try and take the high moral ground, but the reality is that is the difference.
You are a genocide supporter. You supported it in Israel and Palestine, and you refused to come to Iran. And I invited you twice.
I literally did the opposite, actually. I literally did the opposite.
And
you should watch Uncensored more often.
On your regime TV, you don't even let me talk. You don't know anything about Iran, and you just talk and talk and talk, and you're afraid of me saying a single sentence. Iran is being bombed by your regime. Our children are being slaughtered. As we speak, your regime is bombing my country, and your regime sent in intelligence, the Israeli Mossad, the CIA, according to the former head of the CIA, according to the Mossad itself, they sent in people to infiltrate. According to Channel 14 of Israeli TV, which is close to Netanyahu, they brought in weapons that killed hundreds of police officers and volunteers on the streets. So the 3,117 people who were killed, and all of them have their ID and information, they're well known. If you have any extra names, give them to me and let's see what your evidence is. All of those people are recognized. And wait a moment. Wait a moment. And if there was one police officer killed in your country, what would the reaction be? Some young woman was turning to the right. They shot her in the face. Here they killed 200 police officers and well over 100 volunteers on the streets. And you call that peaceful protest, but you ignore the millions of people on the streets as we speak in Tehran right now.
Yeah, let me tell you. Let me tell you.
And
let me respond. I can tell you.
I wanted to bring something for you to see, but forget it. Just one final sentence. For 47 years, your government, your regime, your media has been saying Iran is unpopular. Iran is about to fall. The regime is collapsing. And it never happened. And do you know what? That is exactly the same thing that your media and your governments would say about Mossadegh. When he was in power, they were saying he's evil, he's criminal, he's corrupt. Go and look at the New York Times, the Washington Post. It's always the same. Your problem is that we are independent and that we do not accept the Epstein class that rapes and murders little kids.
I mean, this is actually embarrassing for Piers. He's sitting there trying to play that freedom of speech card, the same tired, lazy script he always uses, while Marandi is literally telling him, I invited you to Iran. Like, what else do you want? Piers wants to act like he's this brave truth seeker, but he won't even get on a plane when the door is held open for him. It's fake. It's so fake. And then you have Marandi bringing up the actual reality on the ground, hundreds of police and volunteers killed, weapons being smuggled in, and Piers just tries to shout over him. It's that Western media arrogance. They've been saying the Iranian government is 2 weeks away from collapsing for, 47 years now? It's a joke. The best part, though, is when Marandi calls out the Epstein class. He's basically saying, you guys lecture us on morality while your elites are doing God knows what. It's blunt, it's messy, and honestly, it's refreshing to see someone refuse to be bullied by Piers' constant interruptions. If you're going to call someone's country a regime, at least have the guts to show up when they invite you to see it for yourself. Otherwise, just stay in your studio and keep yelling at the screen. What are we even doing here?
Okay, we have no moral high ground to stand on at all. By the way, another thing about these so-called protesters, right? Like, don't get me wrong. This is the thing you see is across the globe, bro. It is the same pattern. It is the same CIA playbook. Two people come together to say, we don't like what's going on in the government and we want to take a stand and talk about it. Two people. And then the third person will always be an infiltrator, and then they will co-opt your mission. That's how it goes. In the leftist No Kings protest, yeah, it's like, it would have been good to see the country really having a real protest about the war, like a real anti-war protest. Now they turn it into No Kings. They do foolish things. Then you see foolish, footage from it. It's not fair. And who is it owned by? It's owned by the Zionists. Like, they put the money out for it. Like, can we get a real organic movement going on? I don't know. I pray for it. But anyway, there were people there. They killed 200 cops total. They also were going to military bases and like burning the bases and stealing ammunition. I'm sorry, what part of protest is that? And these people take treason very serious in their country. And it is not my job to say who and how they should govern their country. That's Iran. I live in America. Enough. And we're now stuck in this war and there's no getting off. Okay, so here we are. To do what exactly? Look at these people. How are you going to... What are we going to do? It is disgusting. And by Piers Morgan, nobody's falling for your ridiculous tactics. Shout out to Professor Marandi for what he did on the Piers Morgan Show. I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye.